My name's Meredith Foulke. I go to Davidson College. I'm a rising junior. I had no idea what DH was or that I had any interest in anything programming or computer related until just a couple months ago. So I wrote a paper in a class for the professor I'm here with, and she approached me because the poet that I wrote the paper on is the same poet she's doing her website on, so she has a project on this. And she had the idea to apply for a faculty research grant and get me there over the summer just to see what I could add to the project. And I ended up basically taking my paper and going sort of my own direction. So I'm working with my professor, but working on my own project as well, which is hopefully going to be linked to through her website. And so my project was basically, here's this paper, here are your ideas. How do you use online tools? Use like WordPress and whatever you can to make it whatever you want, to make it more interesting or just different than a print paper. So I sort of tried to take that and run with it and see like how far can I deconstruct the academic essay and how can I use the internet to build it back up in a way that's like more interesting than it would be otherwise.
So what have you found, I guess, as a result of this exploration? How has your project changed and kind of what trajectory do you hope to take with it now that you've had a chance to explore a little bit?
So I don't even remember what I thought it was going to be at the start because I'm sure it's changed so much since then. So I started out just like researching and getting the sort of ideas behind expanding my argument. But then I got really more interested in the tech side, so I split up the paper into a manifesto and a close reading. And so I'm using WordPress and I'm trying to do text coding to sort of make this manifesto look the way I want it to. And so that's where I'm at right now. I also am about to leave for a year and go abroad, so I'm not sure where this project is going to go. Obviously, I'd like it to get to a point where I'm happy with it, being online, so I'd like to keep going with it. Where was I going? Oh no. Yeah, so what the summer has done for me is made me think about my own writing in a different way because I never thought about audience before when I wrote my papers. You write your paper for the professor who's going to read it and maybe for some students who are peer reviewing. But now I'm thinking about, trying to get this maybe to a wider audience or just the way that we present it differently. So I'm moving things around on the page and realizing that I have to learn to code to do this. And so I'm thinking about my writing like layered. I'm thinking about the way it looks and also the things that I have to do to get it to look the way that I want, which is a way that I just had never thought about writing before.
You've been working as part of a team at ILiADS. Has that been productive? What kinds of ideas for your project have sort of arisen out of the ILiADS conversation? Or just what kinds of ideas have you had on your own that you would like to kind of take back to your campus and work more on?
I think our ILiADS group is a little different than some of the groups here in that there are 3 of us here, each with our own sort of project. So we're all working on different projects rather than the same. But that's been really interesting because we're all like related, right? We're all seeing what we can do with poetry online. So we've been sharing ideas and sort of like, teaching each other this little bit of HTML or, we're working together on a plugin, I guess, that's going to let us read a primary text and also a narrative at the same time in like a really like immersive way so that the reader can get both texts. And we're all going to maybe be able to use this for our websites. And that's like something that I thought of in conjunction with my professor. And we was only just something that we thought, this would be nice, but now we're going to actually design it tomorrow and program it and like make it be a thing that is usable and like it seems like I don't know where it's going to go, but it feels kind of revolutionary. Like I kind of feel like what we're doing is changing the way reading can work. And that's like such a cool thing to be a part of.
have you found that DH in general, you know, the projects that you've been involved on, has that had a kind of spillover effect into your other academic work? I mean, you mentioned that this feels like something revolutionary.
Yeah.
Do you think it feels that way because being involved with DH has helped you think about things differently? Is it because, you know, you've had a chance to collaborate? I guess just in a general sense, what has the importance of DH been to your academic or personal interests?
Well, first of all, I'm super frustrated that I didn't take computer science before this because I thought that I wasn't interested in computer science or math. And I wish that I had started earlier getting these skills. So that's just been like a big surprise to me, is that it's this thing that I always thought that was not for me. Like, I'm not a tech person. I don't do computers. I write poems. I read poems. But the fact that not only do I have an aptitude for and an interest in this stuff, like it can help me with the thing that I really thought I wanted to do. So I absolutely want to continue using the skills that I'm getting here, you know, in projects, in my other classes in the future, or in my own work. I am planning on writing an honors thesis in poetry my senior year, and I was talking to Suzanne, my professor, about, you know, how can I use what I've learned here on a thesis that's traditionally just, you know, you write a chapbook or whatever. So like I'm definitely hoping to be able to use this in the future.
Do you think Davidson has like infrastructure in place? Is DH kind of part of the curriculum? Are you sort of doing your own thing and paving the way for others? I guess how do you sort of keep the momentum going once you're not at ILiADS anymore?
Davidson has a surprisingly good infrastructure for the fact that I didn't know what the term digital humanities meant before this summer. So we have like a domains program and every student gets their own domain, and I've used WordPress in like probably 4 or 5 classes and done blog posts, but for all that I never actually really learned how to use WordPress, right? I just like knew how to put up a blog. So a lot of professors are using it, but I don't think they're necessarily putting in the time or giving time out of their classes that it would take to get actual engagement with the technology. So I think that's something that we can do better. So I think we maybe have the infrastructure but less the training or the time taken from professors. But yeah, hopefully it will continue to grow at Davidson. I think it will.
Something to keep working on as
Yeah.
we go forward.
Yeah.
I guess just in general, how has your ILiADS experience been? Have you felt, you know, represented as an undergrad? Are there things that you'd like to see ILiADS improve on? Has having this time to talk with your team and work on stuff individually or as a group made a difference?
Yeah. Well, I'm just like having a lot of fun, which is so like, here I am at a DH conference, but I'm like, this is one of the highlights of my summer, and so I'm just like so interested by my project and also everyone else's project, and just everyone I talk to here is just so like smart and knowledgeable and is doing something so cool. And I love the undergrads have sort of started to band together, and we're trying to have more of a voice, and UNRH is an offshoot of that, and it's something I'm hopefully going to get involved with soon. So I think there's a sense among the undergrads here that we really want to be heard, and we really want to be treated, you know, like we're doing the kinds of serious work that we're doing here. It's not that we feel like we aren't, but I think, you know, we're talking about it, and we're talking about making undergrad research, you know, it's a priority for us, and we want people to recognize that at our home universities.